So y'all know how they're making a big deal out of Elon Musk's son at the president's desk. They're saying he said an F word and all that. Who knows? We don't know if what they're saying is true. But anyway, even if it is true, guess what they're trying to distract you from? Believing in this season, God has chosen me to bring you guys the facts, to bring you guys the information straight from the horse's mouth. I have noticed that the other side, the Democrats, you guys know I used to be one, they are not providing this information that I'm giving to you guys. I'm getting them information for anybody else. These is facts y'all can debate with. So you guys, and this is things that you need to hear because it affects your life. These tax, this is, I said it time again, this is real. You guys are going to see for yourself, but this is going to give you the heads up. You guys will know what's going on. You'll see for sure with your own eyes what people are talking about, how they take little clips of it. This way you'll be able to compare it. You'll be able to see how they took little clips of their stuff and then what really the clip was all about, or if they might have focused on one section of the clip but didn't say nothing about this part of the clip or the video. So this is what they have been hiding.
Ridiculous. And we're talking about billions of dollars that we've already found. We found fraud and abuse. I would say those two words as opposed to the third word that I usually use, but in this case, fraud and abuse. It's abusive because most of these things are virtually made up, or certainly money shouldn't be sent to them. And you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy. So, but we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that we've already found. And now a judge who's an activist judge,
for all the good activists, do not get caught up on the fact that he said the judge is an activist. We all know that there are some shady activists, and unfortunately, this judge may be getting a piece of that pie. She may be getting a piece of that DEI money. So keep listening. Don't focus on the wrong thing. Stay focused. Miss Tab, stay focused. Stay focused. Because I know how my real activists are.
Wants to try and stop us from doing this. Why? Why would they want to do that? I campaigned on this. I campaigned on the fact that I said government is corrupt.
And we all know it's corrupt. This is what we've been fighting for. This is what all these protests has been about. Do not let the Democrats brainwash you guys and have you guys focused on racism, because they are hiding the fact that they're embezzling money from us. They stealing our money. For real. Let's just put it like that. For themselves. That's what they really doing. Them tax dollars and stuff that we paying and all the stuff that we doing, they stealing that. When we go to the store, we gotta pay taxes on shit. They stealing that. And been stealing it for years. And they try to fake like that. Anyway, keep listening.
And it is very corrupt. It's very, very, it's also foolish. As an example, a man has a contract for 3 months and the contract ends, but they keep paying him for the next 20 years, because nobody ends a contract. You got a lot of that.
Do y'all understand what he is saying? A contract, you get paid, it's supposed to be 3 months, and it's getting paid for the next 20 years?
A contract that's a 3-month contract. Now, normally, if you're in a small, in all fairness, it's the size of this thing is so big.
Yeah.
But if you have a contract and you're in a regular business, you end the contract in 3 months. It's a consultant. Here's a contract for 3 months, but it goes on for 20 years. And the guy doesn't say that he got money for 20 years, They don't say it. They just keep getting checks month after month. And you have various things like that. And even much worse than that, actually, much worse. And I guess you call that incompetence, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be corruption. It could be deals made on both sides, where the guy gets the money, he kicks. I think there's a lot of kickback here. I see a lot of kickback here.
There's a lot of kickbacks.
A tremendous kickback, because nobody could be so stupid to give out some of these contracts. So he has to get a kickback. So that's what I got elected for, that and borders and military and a lot of things, but this is a big part of it. And I hope that the court system is going to allow us to do what we have to do. We got elected to among other things, find all of this fraud, abuse, all of this horrible stuff going on. And
so in all fairness, he's doing exactly what he's been elected to do. And this is what he's been finding.
We've already found billions of dollars, not like a little bit, billions, many billions of dollars. And when you get down to it, it's going to be probably close to $1 trillion. It could be close to $1 trillion that we're going to find. That will have quite an impact on the budget. And you'll go to a judge where they handpick a judge, and he has certain leanings. I'm not knocking anybody for that, but he has certain leanings. And he wants us to stop looking. How do you stop looking? I mean, we've already found it. We have a case in New York where a hotel has paid $59 million, $59 million because it's housing migrants, illegal migrants, all illegal, I believe.
And they were being paid twice the normal room rate at 100% occupancy.
Unbelievable.
So it's a racket.
Yeah.
The president's plan is to have us out of this inflation and all these high-ass prices by next year. Listen to what Elon Musk is saying.
That means if you can get $1 trillion of economic growth and you cut the budget deficit by $1 trillion. Between now and next year, there is no inflation. There's no inflation in 26. And if the government is not borrowing as much, it means that interest costs decline. So everyone's the mortgage, their car payment, their credit card bills, anything, their student debt, the monthly payments drop.
Let me play that one more time for the people in the back.
Mortgage, their car payment, their credit card bills, anything, their student debt, the monthly payments drop. That's a fantastic scenario for the average American.
And this is what y'all fighting. Y'all fighting y'all own best interest because the Democrats are telling y'all to, so they can keep the money for themselves. They stealing y'all money to make y'all life better. Got y'all fighting against your own money, your own self-interest in order to keep them from getting y'all, getting y'all money. This is what y'all fighting for. All this DEI, all of this stuff, they wasn't even using the money for us anyway. They was using it for themselves. If it was going to us, we probably wouldn't have no more hoods in the black communities. We probably wouldn't be no homeless people, almost trillions of dollars. That would probably end homelessness, hunger, poverty for everybody. This is y'all money. Y'all up here fighting against y'all own self-interest just for them. They got y'all, I'm telling y'all.
I mean, imagine they're going down the grocery aisle and the prices from one year to the next are the same. And their mortgage, all their debt payments dropped. How great is that for the average American?
We had no
That's what we're
idea. We had no idea we were going to find this much, and it's open. It's not like complicated. It's
not
simple stuff.
complicated.
It's
a
like
lot of work. Yeah.
You can't believe it. A lot of work, a lot of smart people involved. Very, very smart people. But you're talking about anywhere maybe 500 billion. It's crazy the kind of numbers you're talking about. You know, normally when you're looking at something, you'll find you're looking for 1 out of 100. Here, you're almost reversing it. You look for one that's good.
Yeah.
And you can look at the title and you say, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And the public gets it. You know, the public gets it. You've seen the polls. The public is saying, why are we paying all this money? This for years, this has gone on. We've already found billions of dollars of abuse, incompetence, and corruption. A lot of corruption.
If a judge does block one of your policies, part of your agenda, will you abide by that ruling? Will you comply?
Well, I
with that
always
order?
abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. But then what he's done is he slowed down the momentum. And it gives crooked people more time to cover up the books.
I believe when he said it gives crooked people more time to cover up the books, I believe that this is why it always takes so long when something seems fishy. Like those fires in LA, they were told that they can't go back to their place for 18 months. The fire that took place in Hawaii, they still haven't been able to go to their places. And so that is exactly what they're doing with all these fires and trying to sue and protest. They're trying to prolong it so that they can cover up the books or so that they can just get their money. I think they're trying to get them. I think it might be a little bit of both. But I hope you guys are listening and you guys are hearing what our president is trying to do for us. He said America first, and he meant that. He's an outsider and he's here to help. It's like Trump to the rescue. I know y'all don't like that. If you're a Democrat and you got to this part, you're furious. Oh my God. Listen, he is here to help us, you guys.
You know, if a person's crooked and they get caught, other people see that, and all of a sudden it becomes harder later on. So, yeah, the answer is I always abide by the courts, always abide by them, and will appeal. But appeals take a long time, and I would hope that a judge, if you go into a judge and you show him, here's a corrupt situation, we have a check to be sent, but we found it to be corrupt. Do you want us to send this corrupt check to a person, or do you want us not to give it and give it back to the taxpayer? I would hope a judge would say, don't send it, give it back to the taxpayer.
So y'all heard that for your own ears, right? All this money they finding, they gonna give it back to us. So when I tell y'all fighting yourself, you're fighting yourself. They're fighting this money and they're gonna give it back to us.
Yeah, if I can add to that, what we're finding is that a bunch of the fraud is not even going to Americans. So I think we can all agree that if there's going to be fraud, it should at least go to Americans. But a bunch of the fraud rings that are operating in the United States and taking advantage of the federal government, especially in the entitlements programs, are actually foreign fraud rings. They're operating in other countries and actually exporting money to other countries. We should stop that.
So that's why they want all these entitlement programs. You know how the Republicans be complaining, talk about Democrats just spend. They make up this and this. That's why DEI and all of these other programs, I can't think of it in the top of my head because things is clicking as I'm watching too. I hope things are clicking for you. But that's why they create all of these programs so that they can keep the money for themselves. They keep it our money.
And this is big numbers. Talking about $100 to $200 billion a year. Serious money.
So on this part, he's addressing that $50 million that everybody was laughing about, saying that it was a joke, saying that it wasn't real. Yesterday, all of a sudden, I seen reels trying to fake and laugh, make fun, talk about he lied. He admitted that he lied and it wasn't $50 million to Hamas and this and this. But I thought it wasn't no $50 million at all. How can he lie? That's number one. So you guys start paying attention to this. Are they trying to say that it didn't happen? Elon Musk admitted that he lied. No, he only admitted that he said the wrong place. He's going to get places wrong. He's going to get things wrong. Basically, he's human. But anyway, the $50 million was sent to Mozambique for condoms, not Hamas for condoms. Okay, fine. Why are we sending $50 million to Mozambique for condoms? Why are we sending anybody $50 million for condoms?
Musk, you said on X that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact-check this, it apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct these statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it. But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
You know that stuff you guys been hearing about the Treasury? Well, in this clip, Elon addresses it.
So the stuff we're doing with the Treasury Department is so basic that you can't believe it doesn't exist already. So for example, like I mentioned, just making sure that when a payment goes out, it has to have a payment categorization code. It's like, what type of payment is this? You can't just leave the field blank. Currently, many payments, the field is left blank. And you have to describe what's the payment for, some basic rationalization. That also is left blank. So this is why, the Pentagon, when's the last time the Pentagon passed an audit? I mean, a decade ago, maybe? Ever? Really? And we want to, just in order to actually pass audits, you have to have financial information that allows you to trace the payments.
Now that sound like they was doing something grimy and you know it.
The Treasury has to pause payments if it thinks the payment is going to a fraudulent organization. If a company or an organization is on a do not pay list, we should not pay it. I'm sure you would agree. Like, if it's quite hard to get on that payment, the do not pay list, it means that this is someone that is like dead people, terrorists, known fraudsters, that kind of thing. We should not pay them. But currently we do, which is crazy. We should stop that.
Many transactions. And by the way, hundreds, thousands of transactions like that. We have a big team. And for the sake of the country, I hope that the person that's in charge and the other people that report to me that are in charge are allowed to do the right thing. Namely,
they don't mention it in this video, but they are setting something up for whistleblowers.
Make sure everything's honest, legitimate, and competent. But we're looking at just, when you look at USAID, that's one. We're going to look at the military. We're going to look at education. They're much bigger areas. But the USAID is really corrupt. I'll tell you, it's corrupt. It's incompetent, and it's really corrupt. And I can't imagine a judge saying, well, it may be corrupt, but you don't have the right. You got elected to look over the country and to, as we say, make America great again, but you don't have the right to go and look and see whether or not things are right that they're paying or that things are honest that they're paying.
You guys, if a judge tries to stop them from doing these investigations, digging and looking, that is our money potentially postponed. Now, what can a judge say? Because it is unethical, but just keep your eyes open, because if they try, that means the longer we have to wait. Because President Trump's going to fight it. He's going to fight for us.
And nobody can even believe this. Other people, law professors, they've been saying, how can you take that person's right away? You're supposed to be running the country, but we're not allowed to look at who they're paying it to and what they're paying. We have massive amounts of fraud that we caught. I think we probably caught way over a lot of billions of dollars already in, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And it's going to go to numbers that you're not going to believe. And much, as I said, much is incompetence and much is dishonesty. We have to catch it. And the only way we're going to catch it is to look for it. And if a judge is going to say you're not allowed to look for it, that's pretty sad for our country. I don't understand how it could even work.
In this next clip, he's talking about the buyout programs for federal workers. President Trump has offered them an 8-month severance package. They say buyout package, severance package. It's a package to cushion them while they get on their feet to find another job. That's a blessing. I have never, ever, ever, ever heard of any president do that. And my reason why I'm emphasizing it is because the Democrats are telling their supporters, do not take the money. Please take the money. If you have been in government for a while, you know how things go. And you know that this money is a blessing. Take the money even if you don't tell nobody. Do this for yourself, your family. The Democrats, they sneaking behind your back, stealing your money and eating off of it. Take care of yourself and your funny family. Get that buyout. And if you got somebody that is trying to weigh their pros and their cons, if they tell them, let them see this video, tell them to take that money. That ain't never happened ever in the history of this country that I know of. Take that money. That's a blessing from God. Take your blessing. Like I said, they take it on. Don't let them fool you and mess you up out of your blessing. Take that buyout. And if you don't want to use the money for yourself, bless somebody else with it. There's plenty of people that could use that money. But take that buyout.
Program, can you personally guarantee that
Which one?
The buyout program, the offer to federal workers, can you personally guarantee that the workers who opt in to resign now will be paid through
Well, they'll
September?
get their money, but they're getting a good deal. They're getting a big buyout. And what we're trying to do is reduce government. We have too many people. We have office space. It's occupied by 4%. Nobody's showing up to work because they were told not to. And then Biden gave them a 5-year pass, some of them, 48,000 of them, gave them a 5-year pass, that for 5 years you don't have to show up to work. And let me tell you, this is largely, much of this stuff is because of Biden. It's his fault. He allowed this country, what he did on our border. What he did on our border is almost not as bad as what he did with all of these contracts that have come out. It's a very sad day when we look at it. I can't even believe it. But many contracts just extend, and they just keep extending, and there was nobody there to correct it. And that cannot be, I can't imagine that could be held up by the court. Any court that would say that the president or his representatives, like Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of State, whatever, doesn't have the right to go over their books and make sure everything's honest. I mean, how can you have a country? You can't have anything that way. You can't have a business that way. You can't have a country that way. Hey, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.